Hello, everybody. So we are back on this live and everything is up and working. So thank you so much for your patience. I do apologize. I would like to bring our special guest on without waiting. Her name is Stacie Overman. She's an author. She's also a motivational speaker and a light worker. She will explain to us what that is. Let's bring you on, Stacie. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. How are you?
I am doing wonderful.
Thank you
Absolutely
so
wonderful.
much for your patience, Stacie. So, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. Well, I am Stacie Overman. I am an author, national speaker. I am a spiritual guide, a mentor coach, if you will, and a breast cancer survivor. And so I'm super excited to be here today. And Stacie, you've done such great work getting this all together. It was like, with it not working, it just made me think about us cancer survivers. Over, under, around, and through. We're going to save our life. Over, under, around, through. Staci's going to get this video working. Like, right? Like, hey.
We did it. It's because it's so important. Your message is so important. Your book is so important. And I absolutely wanted people to hear who you are and what you do and what you can do for them as well.
Absolutely. Well, and one of the things... one of the things that I coach and talk about and teach is really how to take your life from living in fear and doubt to really living a healthy and more fulfilled life, right? We get stuck in fear and doubt, especially if we've been diagnosed with some form of dis-ease in our body. Oh my gosh, we can get stuck in that fear and doubt, and it's just a vicious cycle. And so really it's really helping people to connect with that divinity within them and find that light that we all have, and creating that light to shine so brightly that not only is it healing yourself and changing your life and aligning you with your soul's purpose, but it's also healing and helping other people. And there goes my doggies. My doggies are like having a little tiff. Let me just
bring them on. Everything's welcome today, yeah, because that's the way it goes. You just have to welcome everything.
That's right.
So, Stacie, you talked about your light, because I know that you're a light worker. Could you go into a little bit more detail as to what do you mean by that? What is a light worker, and are we one?
Absolutely. I know that I've talked with Sass before, and I'm like, well, Sass, you're a light worker. And I remember seeing her face go, really? Am I really?
But it lit up.
Woo! So a light worker is someone that, how would I just say, we're a soul having a human experience, right? And so we have that beautiful, whatever you believe, God, universe, source, light within us. And so as a light worker, we are here. It's not about us. We're here to anchor that light into this earthly play that we're experiencing as a human being, right? So when we're on the other side, our lifetime here may just be a blink of an eye. Who knows, right? And so even though when we're in the midst of it, and especially if we're going through some really traumatic health scares and things that we're battling for our life, it can feel like an eternity. But as we're here having a human experience as a soul, we're here to anchor that light into this earth, and we're here to bring that light here so that we can change the earth. It's like a ripple effect. So as Sass is over there in, France?
France, yeah.
You're anchoring that beautiful light in your community. So not only are you helping to heal yourself by allowing this beautiful source light to get brighter, you're healing your family in your home, you're healing everyone in your neighborhood, you're healing your community, you're healing a part of the planet. And so that's why us light workers are all over the planet doing this same thing. And we don't even realize when our light is shining so brightly that every step you take, when your foot steps on the earth, no matter where you're at, you're helping anchor that light, and you're healing, and you're creating a ripple effect on the planet. So when I go to the grocery store, there's something there, right? I mean, how many of us have somebody come up to us and go, there's something different about you?
I've had that.
Right?
Amazing. You know something, Stacie? What you just said, people have been saying to me since I was a kid, and I felt like a freak. I felt weird. I was
Right.
like, well, I want to just be like everybody and normal. And they said, there's something about you, don't change. And I didn't like it. It's only as I got much older that I decided to accept it. But
Yes.
you're right, there is something unique about everyone. That's true.
That's so true. And, you know, a lot of times that can come with you're too sensitive. You know, you're very sensitive. Why are you so sensitive? And I heard that for many, many, many years too. And I was just like, I'm tired of being sensitive. How do I stop this? Well, that's a part of our gift.
That's it.
It's a part of how we can feel what others are feeling so that we can help with the healing process. And when I talk about helping to heal people, you know, it's not laying hands on people. It's not having to have some amazing modality that's super woo-woo, right? It's literally, you can heal with divine words, and we channel these amazing words. How many times have you had a conversation with somebody and you stepped away and you went, where were those words? Where did they come from? That didn't even sound like me. But it was healing in the moment of that person. It was exactly what they needed. You were tuned into your divinity, and it was coming through and pouring through and healing with simply beautiful words or a hug.
A hug. How do we tune in to our divinity?
Oh my gosh. Well, one thing is to really stop and be in the present moment, right? We have to be in the power of now. We can't be worrying about the past and worrying about the future because we can't change any of that, right? And worry never got us anywhere. Fear and fret never got us anywhere. It just caused us dis-ease in our body, right? Our stomach's a mess. We're all worried. We're crying. We're freaking out. So being in the now, being in the present moment, everything is fine right now. We got to turn off our mind from taking control of our thoughts. And so being able to sit with and train yourself to allow your mind to stop and slow down. Stop and slow down. And then the other thing really too is really starting to remove limiting beliefs. Things that we believe in and we don't even know why we believe in them, right? Your mom taught you something, your grandparents taught you something, your community taught you something, your country just believes a certain way and you don't even know why. And
but how?
You got to tap in.
I like the idea of being in the here and now and removing the limiting beliefs. So for somebody who's listening, for example, who doesn't know how to be in the here and now, we're always about tomorrow, the weekend, what's coming next, visualization. How do we anchor? How do we become anchored and remove those beliefs? Is it something that is difficult?
It's not difficult. It's one of those things where, what is it? What do they say? It takes 21 days to form a habit. I think it's 21 days. It's something where like with my coaching process, when I'm working with my clients, it's getting them doing a little something every single day, getting them in a habit. And, you know, you could call it meditation. You could call it just chilling. Like, I started meditation because it was really hard for me to actually meditate, so I couldn't call it meditate. I called it painting. So I started painting, right? So there's different ways. Meditation can simply be walking out in nature. Yeah. So start with 3 to 5 minutes a day. If you feel like you can't meditate, right? There's no right or wrong way. You don't have to be some amazing monk that starves and doesn't eat and just is being for 24 hours. You don't have to do that, right? Everyone's always worried they're going to do it wrong. You can simply go for a walk outside.
And is there meditation is something that I try to do. My mind always tends to wander off.
Right.
And I try and bring it back to the breathing, to what I'm feeling right now. And, you know, as soon as I do that, it wanders off. And it kind of appeared to me that I'm someone who's in continuous vision mode. I always seem to be almost like a Buddhist monk just sitting there elsewhere. Yeah. And I guess that for me is a kind of an appeasing way to sometimes disconnect from what's happening in the world today, which can be really difficult. Is that also good, or is that something that I need to work on?
Where your mind is always drifting? Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm saying.
You know, yeah, you can do a couple things. Like if that's super something that's always bothering you, is I always say, like, get a piece of paper and get a pen. Set it next to you. If it's really important, write it down so your mind can stop thinking about it and go right back into your space. The other thing that you can do is literally just see those thoughts like balloons floating by. Thank you. I appreciate you. Keep on going. And stay with the quieting of the mind.
I like that.
And eventually, it gets better. It really does. Because when our mind is on overload, we're constantly in fear. We're constantly in worry.
That's it.
And when we're in that constant fear and worry, our frequency is a lower frequency, which on a lower frequency, that is where dis-ease is formed. It's like it gets stuck in the body. So if we're allowing this lower energy, vibrational frequency, right? Everything is energy.
Yes.
And when it gets stuck in the body, we're pulsing out this lower frequency vibration. And so we're attracting more of that to come into us. And it manifests. It manifests in disease. It manifests in cancer. It manifests in autoimmune. It manifests. It does.
So before I move on to the cancer part, because you've been through that, just tell me, this side that you're talking about, this connection side, is it a spiritual sort of thing? Is it for people who are believers in God? Because some people are more like anchored, I believe in God, the Bible, and these sort of things is spiritism and it's not good. Is there a connection?
It's so funny because I was raised as a Christian, was at Bible study all the time. And so when I started connecting because of my near-death experience, my cancer journey, and all this other stuff that you'll read about in my book, I thought it was a bad thing, right? Because of my limiting beliefs, because of what I was taught, because I didn't know any different. I didn't understand it. And so it scared me at first.
Okay.
What I learned is our God, our source, our universe, whatever you believe in, is way bigger than what this mind can fathom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we can't put God or source or universe in a box. We can't even see what other universes are out there. So how on earth can we say, oh, it's only supposed to look like this?
That's it.
How can we do that?
It's just what people are used to.
Yeah, it's like this, that's a limiting belief.
Yeah.
And so for me, I had to get out of my own way, and I had to realize that whatever is being shown to me, whatever I'm experiencing, is because that's what I'm supposed to see. That's what I'm supposed to experience. I know I'm not a bad person. I know I wasn't conjuring up spirits and evil and, that's not who I am. I don't even function that way. And so to me, it was like, no, I'm only calling in love and light. I'm only calling in what is for my highest and best good. And that's where I stayed, because for a while I was in fear. It was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I'm not supposed to do this. This is like, And now I'm standing in my power, and I'm standing in my truth, and I'm saying, this is happening. I am connecting to God. I am connecting to Source. Sometimes I've even seen Jesus, and people may think that's just like really crazy.
Wow.
And sometimes I think it's really crazy. I'm like, holy cow, I didn't even know that was possible. But I do. I connect with angels, and I help heal with angels myself and other people, and I coach other people of how to do that same thing. So I'm trying to remember what your original question was, Sass.
Yeah, the connection between being Christian and believing in God, the traditional way, and the spiritual side, which some people think it's completely different, but you just explained that we cannot put that in a box and say this is the way a Christian's supposed to be. You just listen to whatever calling comes to you.
Right.
And that's
the other thing. With prayer, I learned prayer is giving gratitude. Prayer is setting your intentions of what you're asking for that are going to be manifested. And meditation, of course, I was not really taught meditation back then, right? So that was a new thing for me over these years. Meditation is where we're listening. So if we can't turn our mind off and sit and just be, how are we going to listen to what source or what God or what universe, whatever you believe in, how are we going to hear what they have to say to us?
That's it.
If we're not listening. And so that's one of the reasons why we want to quiet our mind chatter so that we can hear the divine messages that are coming through. And that's how we can begin to actually share the divine messages, because we're connecting. That's the way to connect with our divinity within us, that beautiful light within us.
When did this come to you, Stacie? When did you start to be more self-aware about all of this? Were you born like this?
No. Well, I think I was, but you're raised in an environment where no one that I was around talked like this. No one that I was around ever spoke about connecting with angels or healing your body or the power to heal. I wasn't around that. So it wasn't until after I started getting better on my cancer journey, and then my husband that was passing away because his dis-ease in his body was getting worse. And so the week before he passed is when I started seeing angels and loved ones on the other side, and it was a bit freaky.
Okay.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
More Ambien tonight. But it took me a few years. So let's see, 2, 3. It was about 3.5 years after he passed.
Mm-hmm.
I started meeting other sensitives and other people that were experiencing the things that I was experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And that blew me away. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know more. And that's when I started diving in. And so that was like, 11, 12, 13, about 2013-ish.
Okay.
I started diving in and learning as much as I could. And then we moved to another state where we didn't have a lot of cell service. And that's when I started painting angels. And that's when it just started pouring in.
Okay. And now you got your channel for all these messages and things.
Yes, absolutely.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad that you're able to connect with that and accept that, because it can be scary for some at first.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was a little freaked out.
Yeah. Tell me about your cancer journey. So you've been through cancer. I see your book there next to you, Angel Kisses, No More Cancer. So you're out. Whoa. Wonderful. Tell us about your cancer journey, the healing side. What happened for you?
Absolutely. Well, let's see, 2006, let's see, it was actually 2005. I was going to the doctor regularly. I was having shoulder problems. And I was getting cortisone shots, and I was having sports therapy and all kinds of things. And my body was saying, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And I kept going in, and the doctors are like, we don't see anything wrong. There's nothing wrong here. And then I had a yearly check, and my gynecologist says, let's get you in for a baseline mammogram. And I'll be ding-danged, there was cancer.
Oh, wow.
And literally, I got that phone call. Oh my gosh, I've scheduled you a surgeon. I've scheduled you another ultrasound and another mammogram. You got to come in tomorrow. Like, they're doing surgery like within 3 days.
Oh wow.
That quick. And I remember the doctor looking at me and saying, "Wow, if you do nothing, you will not live 3 more years."
Okay.
And at the time, I was a newlywed, and we were trying to get pregnant. And he said, if you would have gotten pregnant, you would not have survived the pregnancy.
Really?
That was scary.
Yeah.
So scary. Rocked my world. And at the time, my husband was already battling cancer. So we were already at the chemo station like every other week for him. And so I had a near-death experience with my first surgery. And I had more cancer. So literally in the month of March, every Wednesday I had a surgery. And the last one, they put a portacath in, so they knew for sure I was going to have to do chemotherapy. And then my lung was punctured, so I had to stay the night. I'm like, so yeah, with our video not working this morning, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, punctured lung, near-death experience. This is nothing. We'll get this video going. And then I had chemotherapy after all those surgeries, and I had radiation. I lost all my hair, and felt like I was 80 years old. It was just quite a crazy roller coaster ride. So my late husband and I, we did chemotherapy together every other week. And together, yeah. It was like our date day, 5.5-hour infusion. What a cocktail. Not
Amazing.
So much.
Incredible that you both went through it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did. And that's, and then I had a pill for 5 years that I had to take after that before I say get fired from my oncologist. I walked in my last day and I said, okay, all our tests are run, right? Are you going to fire me today? Because I'm ready to be fired. I don't want to come back here.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And shortly after that, they actually asked me to be the spokesmodel for the cancer center in Oregon that I had my treatment with. And so started sharing my story, and it just has morphed into finally getting my book out there and finally getting to be able to help more people not hear those words they have cancer.
So that's where you started to become a motivational speaker.
Yeah, and it's funny. I had done a lot of modeling in the past and was like a fashion show coordinator, doing modeling. I was a talent agent, had my own company, and I also worked another job. And so I was kind of used to being in the MC spot, in the limelight, doing modeling myself. And it was a good, easy transition. It was like, oh, I can do TV commercials and I can move into this. So yeah, let's do this. Because it's so much more meaningful to help people save their life and live a more fulfilled life. And so, yeah, I just kind of rolled right into this new platform, and it was like, this is what makes my heart sing. This is why I'm here. It's like, I don't want anyone to ever have to wonder, am I going to get to see my grandbabies?
That's it.
Right? Like that. Just talking about my grandson, I could just cry. Like, oh my God, the things I would have missed out on. Yeah. No way. I don't want anyone to miss out on that. No one. It's amazing.
It's amazing. You've been through such a huge journey. And just look at you. You're still young. You're still amazing. You're successful. The journey is worth it sometimes. Can you tell us a little bit about your book? I know it's you're just launching.
Just a little bit about my book, Angel Kisses, No More Cancer. The title came to me in a dream. And it was about the time I was painting angels. And all of a sudden I was like, ooh, what's that going to be? And I started using the term angel kisses like all over the place. And here, years later, like 7 years later, I'm like, oh, that's the name of my book. Okay, thank you. Thank you, my spirit team.
You see, I love it. Angel Kisses.
Yeah, angel kisses. And who would not want to be kissed by an angel, right? Like, I was kissed by an angel, and my cancer was healed, and I'm good. And now it's like I'm being able to actually represent the angelic realm. And so in my book, I share about my journey. I share about my late husband's journey. He had a rare form of gastrointestinal cancer where you can almost be like a symbiotic host with the cancer for quite some time. And then I share how I started experiencing angels. And at the end of each chapter, I actually channel a angelic message at the end of each chapter. And it's so interesting because when I channel, I kind of step aside, I tune in, I step aside, and I allow them to speak through me. And I literally have to go back later and read it. And there was a couple of nights after I'd done a channeled message, I would print it out and take it into the house with my husband now that I am married to. And I would say, oh my gosh, read that. That is profound. How did that come through me? And you can even feel the cadence and the structure of the way they speak is not how I would speak. Okay. And so it's so amazing. And if you're interested in angels, you're going to want to get this book.
Definitely.
If you're battling cancer, you're going to want to get this book. If you're a caregiver, you're going to want to get this book. Or if you know somebody, it's a great gift. It's a great gift.
Sounds like a great gift. Oh,
and
I'm
it's
so excited.
Huge. It's a quick read, but it's perfect, and some people have said, oh, you left out so much. And I said, no. I said just enough so that I can write my second book and not have the frequency of cancer in it. Because cancer is a lower vibrational frequency, yes. Right? And so I am leaving that behind because I am not cancer. You are not cancer, right? We are not cancer. And so we want to speak to it as we are not cancer, right?
Exactly.
So that it's over here and we are overcoming, right? We are overcoming. We are an amazing soul having a human experience.
Yeah.
And we just need to have some emotional healing done so that the body can change the frequency vibration so that cancer can be eliminated.
So about this frequency and this vibration. So for someone like myself, so if I were to say to you, I often feel that my chakra is blocked, that I can't go right to the very end of what I begin doing, whether it be in my personal life, in my professional life, in my love life, anywhere. What would you say? What could you do for me in that area?
So basically, it's you have one of your chakras blocked, and you're having a cycle. It's the same thing, kind of keeps happening over and over and over. Okay. So, like for example, if our heart chakra, like for me, my heart chakra was blocked because of a toxic relationship I had experienced and some other things.
Okay.
So those things that happen to us in life, our chakras are like this perception bucket, if you will. And so our perception of what happened to us, whether we were a victim, whether we were experienced some traumatic things, whether we were cut off and not allowed something, all of that stuff lands in these different buckets. And so for me, being a heart chakra issue, you can experience lung cancer, breast.
Oops. Have I lost you there? Are you still with me?
Oh,
we're back.
I'm still here.
Sorry about that.
So anytime that's okay. So just to recap, heart chakra issues, breast cancer, breast problems, lung cancer, lung problems, shoulder problems, carpal tunnel, arm problems, the back of our shoulder blade will have issues in that area. So all of that is related to something's wrong with the heart chakra.
That's it.
That's just a few. There's probably a few more, but that's off the top of my mind. So in order to really help your heart chakra, we need that energy center spinning and glowing as brightly as possible. The heart chakra is usually green. Some people see pink. And so as a visualization and a sit with, you can call it cleansing, clearing. You could call it flossing, whatever you want to imagine in your mind's eye. Like even like flossing teeth, we could be flossing our chakras, or cleansing and clearing, whatever it looks like and is easy for you to do. And I literally, sometimes I even use my hand like I'm spinning a dial. Just
really?
Give it a little spin, help it out, spin, and imagine anything that no longer serves that heart chakra center to be like flying out like dust bunnies. I call it like spring cleaning, right? Like you get in there and you're like, man, all winter, all that dust bunnies just curled up in this little dark corner. Well, that's what's going on in our heart chakra, in our energy centers. So we're just imagining those dust bunnies flying out, and we're asking for whoever you believe in to come in and just fill it with this beautiful divine white light. You can even call in angels. Like I like to call in Archangel Raphael for healing. And with our heart chakra, we can even call in Archangel Shamuel, which is all about love. And we can ask them, can you help me with balancing, cleansing, clearing my energy center to be the highest and best good for me? And so visualize in your mind's eye, pretend you can see the dust bunnies flying out. Ask that stuff to go to the love and light to be healed. And then imagine that glowing ball is like this beautiful jewel tone green, and that it's spinning just perfectly. Because if it's blocked, it's not spinning. It's barely moving. It's like sludged down, right? And it's maybe dark. It might be black or gray. It might not be moving. And some of us can actually see these energy centers with our mind's eye. And so some people can't. Some people can feel it. Some people just know.
It's there.
Like
you said the color green. Why do you have to see the energy ball green?
The energy of the heart chakra is green. I don't know why, but it is green.
I didn't know.
And so like just to give you another example, like our root chakra is the very first one. It's the lowest one right below our tailbone. That one is red. And that one is very much, you need to be grounding, connecting to earth. That's about stability, money, feeling like you've got all your ducks in a row. You can conquer the world. And a lot of our lower energy centers for most people are very out of whack. Especially if you've had a lot of traumatic things, we tend to be up in our upper chakras. And so I like to liken this to an analogy that came to me a few years back is our soul is in and experiencing and around and on the outside of this body, this vessel, right? Yeah. And when we have something traumatic happen, maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's a bad relationship, maybe we got in a really bad car accident and our body is hurting, whatever that is, and diagnosed with cancer, we pop up, our soul pops up into the upper chakras and is like a balloon. So if we think about a balloon tied to our wrist and our soul is like, too hard to deal, I don't like this body, this is not happening, for me to handle what's happening, I need to get halfway out of this body.
Okay.
And so we pop up into like the balloon up above. And so if you think of this little kid carrying a balloon, your spirit's up here in this balloon part. So we're half in the body. And what we experience when we do that, spaciness. Mm-hmm. Sometimes our eyelid will flicker and we're like, what is going on? Why is my eyelid going all weird? Clumsy, forgetful. We're not really present. And sometimes I catch myself when I'm working with spirit and helping heal people and stuff. I get up there.
Oop. You blocked again. Gonna come back. It's back.
Oop, lost it.
Are you there? It's just the internet connection. Yes, sorry.
Internet.
I think you're back. Oh, yes.
Notice. You're not really here. You're not really here. And I'm like, I'm here. But that's a sign that I'm not really present. I'm kind of zoned out. I'm kind of spaced out. I'm up in my balloon. And so when we think about even children that maybe have something really traumatic happen, they pop up into this other space, into this balloon, so they can handle it, right? That's when those children say, I see Jesus. I seen Jesus to help me get through this bad situation. That's where they're at. And they will tend to live their whole life in that space.
Interesting.
And nobody teaches or really helps them to understand you've got to fully come in and integrate into your body so that you can be the best you that you came here to be. Because we didn't come here with the intention of being half human and half soul and not really participating. We came here with the intention to experience the play.
Yes.
Right? We want to experience the polarity. We want to experience the contrast. We want to experience what it's like to be sick and what it's like to be healthy. We want to experience the dark and the light. And if we're popped up into that balloon, it's hard for us to experience it fully.
So that's like a safe place that we go to.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I wasn't expecting to talk about that.
I know, and it's so exciting. Oh, Stacie, thank you so much. I feel rich. Those who are listening are going to be rich with all of this that you've taught us in just a small amount of time. Where can people find you? They want to continue the conversation.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you can always find my website, which is stacieoverman.com, and my name has an I and an E in it, stacieoverman.com. And I have an amazing, wonderful free gift once you go there the first time, 5 easy techniques to relieve anxiety. Because a lot of us are dealing with anxiety. So when you first go there, you can get your free gift.
So that's there, just below you. That's the link there.
I don't see it. But,
okay. Well, they see it on the live.
Okay, I just see sass and a little tiny version of me. So good. So you're on it. And then of course I'm on Instagram, Stacie Overman. I share lots of awesome stuff on Instagram. I'm all over, so you can find me. Yeah, but those are 2 great places.
And so your book, Angel Kisses, is on Amazon.
Yes, it's on Amazon. Right. It's ebook or a paperback.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love paperbacks. There's something about touching it that gives it energy.
I'm like, I have to touch it. Yes. I have to. Oh, it's so awesome. I could cry. It's like birthing.
And also, I read on Facebook that you're in the pre-launch phase, which means the book can be signed if they order it now.
Yes. And I can send you that link or post it under the video because it's a different link. It's kind of a hidden link. And so, yes, I can autograph and send a gift with the book, and I'll be sending those out next week. So I'll post the link after the video.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Stacie, thank you so much for your time. It's refreshing. We took a long time to get this live up and going, and look at it. Amazing.
Divine timing. Somebody needed to be on here. Someone needed to watch. It was exactly waiting for that right person that needed to hear this message.
Beautiful. Is there anything, last message you'd like to give the listeners about this light working self-healing process just before we finish?
I guess really the healing is important is removing limiting beliefs. And it takes time, right? It's not an overnight fix. Removing limiting beliefs, balancing your energy centers, and raising your vibration so that you can connect with that divinity within you. And that's what's going to move you from living in a place of fear and doubt to living in a place of healthy and fulfilled.
Okay.
And I can help with that. Just reach out.
Just reach out. She's there. Stacie, again, thank you. I wish you all the best for your book launch. Okay, and I'll speak to you real soon.
All right. Thanks, Sass. Great
Bye.
to be here.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so there you have it. Stacie Overman with Angel Kisses. No more cancer. You can find her on the links below, which will be below the video. And I'll leave you with a little jingle and speak to you soon. Take back the power of your body. Raise your vibration. You have the power to claim your destiny.